Clouds. Yo, what's going on, everyone? How are y'all doing? This is Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again, radiating love as always. My beautiful brothers and sisters, how are y'all doing? We're finally doing this weekly astrology horoscope that was originally scheduled yesterday for 7. So you want to know what happened? Let me turn down the music here. It'll be in the background. So if you want to know what had happened was, so I actually exercised yesterday. Not for long, but I exercised yesterday. And then when I came inside, I sat on the couch and I fell asleep. And then I woke up and it was around this time, around 7:30 or so. And I was like, oops, I was supposed to be going live tonight. I wasn't really feeling in the right energy anyways to be doing it. So I just pushed it out to today. But then today, what had happened was I went to this local spot. It's like a bakery slash cafe slash coffee shop kind of deal. Um, and I went over there to do some writing. Here's Leo. And I went over there to do some writing and stuff. And I got back home around like 7:05 or so. I had to get everything ready. I had to set up my computer. I had to get that out. I had to put on my, I have my salt lamp here too going. So I had to put on my salt lamp and had to do all that sort of preliminary stuff. Why did you retract your message? But anyways, we are here. Leo is here as well. He is adorable. And let me know if the music distracts. I can turn down the music a little bit more actually. Just kind of have it as like background noise. I don't know how long we'll be tonight. I kind of actually already talked a little bit about what I wanted to talk about in this horoscope in today's earlier video. If you haven't checked it out, it was titled "The Eruption is Coming." So if you want to kind of get a vibe of, this week and what we're building up towards, I encourage you to go check that video out. I'm probably going to start to do more videos like that where kind of get back to my roots as far as when I started making YouTube videos. I probably made, I don't know how many I made, but I made like anywhere between 70 and 100 videos where I would just pop on camera and I would just talk about random stuff. It wasn't really related to anything in particular. It was ranging, of course, with philosophies and just my general observations of the world. And I'm going to kind of get back into that. I think a lot of that has to do with, Venus is in Sag, Jupiter's in Sag. I'm a Sagittarius rising, so these energies are actually in my first house right now. So definitely kind of want to get back into that sort of energy. Could also be the fact that Mercury was in my first house, and now I think it's actually now in my second house. I think my second house cusp is like 10 degrees Capricorn. So, yeah. So, kind of want to take some of those thoughts and ideas and stuff like that and start to ground them. So, hey, Burbs. That's right. I call my partner Burbs. But yeah, I actually have a comment on here. So I feel like it'll be easier to look at it on the phone instead of awkwardly looking at it on the screen. So I figured it'd be better to do it this way. But in any event, how are you all doing? With these weekly astrology videos, of course, we'll hop into the charts and talk and show you that stuff. But I'm not really going to do it like this happening this day, this happening this day. It's going to be kind of more of a free flow where I talk about, generally what's been happening this week. And if there was a week that I would say that it's time to kind of have like this sort of last hurrah and really start to get your shit together, this is that week. Now we still have a few more days until this eclipse, and we will be going live, especially for the eclipse. So I'll probably will do that next Monday. I haven't scheduled the event time yet because I'm sure a lot of people are going to be scheduling events, but I want to go live about it too. So that'll be next Monday when I go live for that. And it might even be like an early morning type thing because I want to get as close to the eclipse as possible. So yeah, we might be going live at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe. That's if my ass can actually get up. Lately, I've been sleeping and like I've been waking up early as usual, but I like been just staying in bed. And I'm honestly, I really enjoyed it. And there's a part of me that's been fighting myself because I've been programmed with this whole idea that, the early bird gets the worm. Those who get up earlier in the day are typically more successful than those who sleep in. And Um, well, I think there's certainly an element of truth to that. I don't think it's complete. I don't think the time that you wake up uh, is 100% correlated to how successful you are. And considering especially how things are right now in the world and our society, people live in different times. I guess in an ideal society, yeah, I don't think anyone would work overnight because I think it's out of your circadian rhythm. But there's a lot of us who come from places and realms where you didn't sleep. It was almost like sleep was like a choice. You know, like those RPG video games where you technically can be running around the whole time, and it's like it goes from day to night, from day to night. But then you can actually go into certain hotels and inns or random people's houses, and you can actually choose to sleep. And it's like, how long do you want to sleep for? Like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? Like those realms exist. Like here, it's like our body just naturally kicks in and we get sleepy and we have to go to sleep. But there are other realms where you can just stay up and you like choose to go to sleep. Like you choose to rest. It's kind of interesting. So, um, but yes, this is sort of like the last hurrah. So, and I'm not saying that after this week, if you continue certain self-limiting patterns, that you're not going to get a chance to rectify yourself and to come out of those patterns and to come into a better state, to come into a higher vibrational state. But what I'm saying is that I feel like the consequences are going to be more obvious after this week. Um, and a lot of that has to do, of course, with the sun finishing up at Capricorn and how pretty much as soon as the sun comes into Aquarius, we get this full moon in Leo, lunar eclipse at 0 degrees, which is going to be huge. So, of course, we could talk about that, but there's a lot of other things happening this week. You know, just the sun finishing up in Capricorn, the sun's going to conjunct the south node. It's already conjuncted Pluto this week, and we do have, you know, Venus trining Mars, which is another big thing. So I titled this the Zenith of Capricorn. And the Zenith is another way of saying the peak or the pinnacle. And Capricorn, in many ways, is a mountain, right? So we're like our awareness, which the sun represents our awareness or our consciousness. I like to say awareness more, but it represents, you know, it's right now we're like climbing this mountain, right? We're climbing this mountain. And what's going to happen when we reach the top of this mountain? We're going to get abducted by Aquarius energy, and then we're going to get taken to a faraway galaxy, and then cue the Star Wars music or Star Trek or whatever it is that you're into. But that's really what's about to happen. Um, yeah, it's just interesting how this is all culminating in the way it is. That's why I made the video earlier about there's this eruption that's coming, and it's like we're getting glimpses of it every time that the sun comes back to these late degrees of Capricorn. But now it's going to get more and more because this year Saturn and Pluto are going to come closer in their conjunction. So you have the two quote unquote malefics. So you essentially have it's like good cop, bad cop, honestly. If you want to take it that like you want to look at it as a metaphor, in many ways, believe it or not, Saturn's good cop and Pluto's bad cop. Sometimes, very rarely do they switch roles. But usually Saturn is actually the good cop and Pluto's bad cop. Saturn's like, okay, listen, you know that if you do this, you do this, this is going to happen. You know, this vehicle karma. You know if you do if you do these certain things, these are the sort of consequences that you are going to receive. Consequences don't necessarily have to be bad. It could be good or bad. Pluto is like now Pluto will bless you. Don't get it wrong. Like don't get it twisted. Pluto will certainly bless you with incredible transformation and incredible gifts and really this deeper sense of purpose, especially now that Pluto is in Capricorn. Pluto is wanting to give us a deeper sense of purpose, but in order to obtain that feeling, we have to go deep. So what's happening right now is that we're climbing this mountain and Saturn is like we already passed Saturn, we already passed Pluto, right? But it's like what happened is that as we were climbing this mountain, we got to Saturn, and Saturn was sort of like, this old sagely, I'm gonna say woman actually. This is actually this old sagely witch or woman was sitting on top of the mountain and was imbuing us with all this knowledge. And she was like, "Look, you're going to continue up this mountain, and you're going to be met with um, agents of Pluto, because Pluto's actually inside the mountain. That's the fun thing about it. Pluto's inside the mountain. So we actually haven't gotten to meet Pluto yet. We just met some of his agents or pawns, so to speak, some of his knights, really. By the time that the sun conjuncts the south node, which we'll get into the charts here in a bit, by the time that the sun gets to the south node, that's when we're going to sort of meet like one of the bosses, and that's going to be an opportunity for us, of course, to really see what we've learned and see what we're made of. And of course, it's going to appear differently in everyone's life. Some of you guys might actually find yourself in a bit of a fight, but in some way, shape, or form. So I want you to literally think of this. I want you to literally think, or sort of just like envision this mountain that we were all climbing, right? And we, like I said, we already met Saturn, and we continued our ascent. And Saturn warned us, it's like, all right, if you do this, that's going to happen. If you go this, that way, it's going to happen. But considering the fact that Mars, which is exalted in Capricorn, is in Aries right now, a lot of people aren't necessarily listening to what Saturn has to say. A lot of people are like, you know what, I'm going to do this anyway. Saturn's like, all right, so when you get to this particular part, you don't want to go that way, because if you go that way, there's a troll over there, and you're going to have to pass the troll's test. Now, if you go the other way, there will be another test, but you won't get hung up on the troll. And now, if you go that way, you're going to get to another fork in the road. And if you go this way, that's going to happen. If you go this way, that's going to happen. And Saturn's trying to give us the best route to take. But with Mars and Aries, with Venus and Sagittarius, there are aspects of all of us that want more of an adventure. There are aspects of all of us that don't really necessarily want to go this way that Saturn wants us to go. And there's nothing wrong with that. So this is where our free will comes in. And this will be a test to see really what we're made of. So everybody in some way, shape, or form is going to delineate in some aspect. But like I said, the consequences of this delineation, if that's even a word, and the outcome of it is really up to you. It's really up to you. So this is definitely a moment of still building integrity, because you got to remember, when the sun comes into Aquarius, Saturn does co-rule Aquarius. But Saturn, at this point, when the sun comes into Aquarius, will be in the 12th house, so Pluto. So a lot of the things that we are acting out and that seem like they're kind of on the forefront, they're going to be kicked back into the spirit realm and the dream realm. Dreams are going to get really intense over the next 30 days, because with Pluto there, Saturn there, Mercury's there, and Mercury will come into Aquarius at some point, but we'll look at that more. But this is definitely going to be a test on our integrity, our character, and we're really being called to step into a greater version of ourselves. Saturn is actually surprised. Like Saturn right now, the vibe I'm getting from Saturn is that Saturn is surprisingly being understanding and compassionate. This is partly due to the fact that the North Node is in Cancer. Now, the North Node is in Cancer right now. It's at about 25 to 26 degrees, I believe. And the North Node in Cancer is having a pretty interesting time. The healing right now is very subtle with the North Node in Cancer. We won't really notice it until it hits about 15 degrees, until it hits the first half of Cancer. We'll really begin to notice it when it hits 1 to 10 degrees. But right now, the North Node in Cancer is asking us to have compassion for our ascent, because there are so many energies that it's opposing in Capricorn. Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Pluto. So it would seem initially that the North Node is getting beat up. It's like, God, this is such a bad example. It's such a bad example, and I feel blasphemous because I am a Falcons fan. It's like when the Falcons were up 28-0 and they lost the lead to the Patriots and they came back and won the fourth quarter. That's kind of how this node in Capricorn and Cancer is going to feel like. It's going to feel like the Capricorn energy is so far ahead in the game, but then Cancer is going to kind of come up at the end and kind of put the stamp of approval. But right now, the North Node's kind of getting its ass kicked. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of getting its ass kicked. But that's just because there's so much energy in Capricorn right now. You got both malefics there, and you got Mercury there. So even our minds are really trying to, focus a little bit more on status and success and climbing. But we have to consider, Neptune is sextiling this energy. Not only that, but Jupiter and Venus are semi-sextiling it while they are squaring Neptune. So this is about, even though we're wanting to open up to more possibilities and to this grand divine adventure, this sacred adventure, it can be tough because we can be following illusions. We can be falling for delusions. In many ways, a lot of people are getting trolled right now. A lot of people are getting trolled right now. And myself included. So I'm not saying that I'm exempt from this because we are all going through. We are all going through these challenges. But what's beautiful about all this is that we do have the Mars trine Venus aspect this week. Mars, which is in Aries, and then you have Venus, which is in Sagittarius. And this is beautiful because this is taking that raw passion that we're getting with Mars and being in the tone sign, that raw passion and this aspect to this sacred fire that is Sagittarius energy. And with Jupiter there, even expanding it further, this is like, even if things seem very realistic and grounded and kind of in our face with the situation and how things are, and you can even feel there's a lot of desperate energy right now in the collective. Despite all of that, there still is this portal to which we can look through and vibe on, to where we can take that raw passion that we still feel. In many ways, think of Mars and Aries as a superhero that just discovered their powers. And think of Venus and Jupiter and Sagittarius as trying to guide that young hero. And of course, when Mars reaches the Leo, he's going to be a little bit more, he or she is going to be a little bit more polished, right? Right now it's in Aries. So that's what everyone's feeling. We're feeling this rev up and this kick up of our superpowers coming forth. And we're looking at our situation, and it's like, it looks like it's hard to change, right? Because it's Earth. Not only that, but it's cardinal Earth. So a lot of cardinal Earth has to do with direction and directing things. It's the natural earthbender, and there are systems in place that people have been directing their energy towards for decades. That's why it seems like it's so hard to work with, because it seems so fixed. With all the energy in Capricorn right now, it seems very fixed, but it's not Taurus energy. And Uranus will be coming into Taurus, which is going to change the motherfucking game. That's for damn sure. But it definitely right now, because we really don't have much fixed energy. There's nothing in Leo. There's nothing in Scorpio. There's nothing in Taurus. There's nothing in Aquarius right now. We don't have a lot of fixed energy. We don't have any fixed energy. Besides, I think Juno is in Taurus right now. I'm pretty sure Juno is in Taurus. Juno is the asteroid of partnerships, of marriage, of commitments, the potential for scorekeeping, the potential for jealousy to arise. That's the kind of the dark side of Juno. But Juno is also about forgiveness. You gotta think, Juno was the supposed mother. Juno was, Zeus's wife, right? So And we all know how much of a man whore Zeus was. I'm not going to put it bluntly, right? Zeus got around, right? But Juno found it in her to continually forgive him, interesting enough. So that's there's definitely this forgiveness energy that's coming up, which is, since Juno is in Taurus, and I believe it's at about 22 to 23 degrees of Taurus right now, I want to say. So it's actually trining Pluto, and it's trining the Sun right now. So, and of course, like I said, trining the South Node. So there is this element of us wanting to make a commitment to a better world and a better tomorrow, because this isn't just about romantic relationships. This is about, having a relationship with society, having a relationship with traditions. Capricorn many ways rules traditions as well. So since all that is changing and morphing, since all that's being revolutionized and dying off in many ways, but being reborn, because that's where Pluto is, right? There's this element of, since Juno is in Taurus right now, there's this element of us establishing the connection to what is true and pure about our society and to these structures, what is true and pure about the Capricorn energy, right? Because even though things are being blown to smithereens, we're still making a commitment to that pure quintessential spark of the Capricorn energy. So yes, there are many legacies and dynasties that are coming to an end right now, and the individuals that are heralding those dynasties and those structures, you can feel them trying to hold on to the power, but there is a major power shift going on right now, and everybody can feel it. Everybody can feel it. That's why there's so much flustered energy right now, because usually when you are about to lose control of something, it feels like you get more control of it right before you lose it, right? So it's like, perfect example is like when you go to hug a cat. It's like you hug a cat, and then it gets to a point where they don't want to be in your arms anymore, and they try to get out, and you want to hold tighter, but you know if you hold tighter, you're about to get scratched, you're about to get bit, and you just can't hold on to that cat any longer. So you have to let them go. You got to let her go. So that's kind of what's happening right now, is that this cat is trying to get out of the grasp, and there's an element of our society that's trying to hold on to the cat longer, but the cat's getting stronger, the cat's nimble, is a lot more powerful than we believe him to be, and people are getting scratched. Individuals are getting scratched and bitten, and some people don't really care. And it's like, it can be pretty intense. I don't know why Pluto just gave me the image of a river of blood. Like, I guess, like, there are some people that are being scratched and bit so much that they're creating those pools of blood. And it's like, is it worth it? That's what I'm trying to, like, that's really what I'm hearing. Like, is it worth it to try and hold on to it? And since Juno is in Taurus, that does give us an element of hope in how we can even forgive ourselves for allowing things to come to where they are, and we can forgive ourselves for any type of what's the word I'm looking for? Corruption in the system, or allowing corruption. A lot of us are trying to find a way to forgive ourselves for allowing this corruption to go on. And it's like a lot of people want to actually rebel against the system. They actually kind of want to, want to put their energy into creating the new world, but they feel like the system and how things have gone, they've come so far that they have so much fucking momentum that it's hard to stop it. I want you to I'm envisioning a train moving at incredible speed around the earth, nonstop. And that's kind of how it is. And Pluto right now is just like, it's destroying this fucking train, like car by car, just knocking him off the rails. But this train has so much fucking speed, and it's like the train is eventually going to stop, and then we're gonna have to like rebuild it, and we'll have to go from there again. And then eventually, our future ancestors will have to stop the momentum of the train that we built, because we have to evolve and we have to go into the next stage. But that's kind of how it feels right now. It's like a bullet train that's moving so fast and it's been going nonstop for such a long time. And we're trying to actually stop this train. We tried everything. We tried, you know, like there are probably individuals that probably to actually get in front of this train and try to stop it and just probably like knock them off. There's so many things that we tried. But this train just seems like it's keep on moving. But interesting enough, it actually is slowing down, even though we can't see it. It's like I'm literally seeing a fast moving train and just like giant fists just like punching off like the cars or this train, like just punching them off, bam, 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 and it's like the train's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which actually in many ways increases the momentum because it has less to carry. But Pluto, that's exactly what Pluto wants. It wants it. It's like it wants it to sort of like speed up. But then when when it finally slows down, oh boy. I'm channeling Pluto a lot tonight. And it seems kind of like dark almost because it's like there's so much that's being destroyed right now. But there's so much that's being reborn too at the same time. There's so much that's being reborn. So this is definitely going to be a week to remember. And you're going to look back on this week. You're going to look back on this eclipse season because anytime you're in between eclipses, it's weird. Like it's weird. The emotions are weird. The energies are weird. You could think weird thoughts. There's a lot of weird stuff that's going on during eclipses. And to start off the year with these eclipses, and now all planets are moving forward, so there's a lot of speed. I'm telling you, it's like when we get to that full moon, it's going to be a hyperspace jump because we're going literally into Aquarius. So I'm telling you, we're going to get to the top of the mountain, and it's almost like everybody's ascent to the mountain is different because it's like we're like climbing it together, but in our own dimension, in our own perspective. And then we're all going to meet at the top. And then when we meet at the top, Aquarius is just going to come down and create like this orb around us and zap us into the next dimension, to the next realm, which is Aquarius season. And it's going to be like, at that point, some of us are going to end up being transported to the same place together. And then some people are going to be by themselves and all this sort of stuff. And then we have to like navigate Aquarius energy, and like get really connected and stuff like that. And that's why, during Aquarius season, you're going to see a lot of things, of course, with social media pop up and the internet, and there's going to be more dissent that you see on the internet, but there's also going to be more positive things you see on the internet as well. So having to navigate all of that, there could definitely be the potential to get involved in glorified arguments with strangers on the internet that you have never fucking met. And even though it appears in this dimension as you just, using words on a keyboard and it appearing on a screen, in another dimension, you guys are probably battling it out and dueling. Like, seriously. Probably more sparring than anything, honestly. Because there's a lot of filters in between, and a lot of it could be sparring, like friendly sparring. Some of it's going to be some like intense shit though, like some intense battle. I'm not gonna even lie. I'm not gonna front with you all. Some of it's going to be some really intense shit, but you need to charge that thing. Are you guys ready though? I mean, this is a good week because right now the moon's in Taurus. While the moon was in Aries, when I did my moon in Aries video, I said that the moon was pissed off, and she had the right to be pissed off. Now that the moon is in Taurus, she'll be finishing up in Taurus tomorrow evening. We're kind of in this more relaxed state emotionally. It's definitely a good time to really treat ourselves, to really do something for ourselves that reflects the value that we feel for ourselves. And even if you have low self-esteem right now, this will be a great time to do something nice for yourself. And nice doesn't have to be you treat yourself to $100 bottle of wine, or you have to go spend $100 at a restaurant on yourself. If you have the ability to do that and you want to do that, cool. But it can be as simple as you know, maybe there's something that you haven't like done in a while. Maybe there's like a particular food that you haven't had in a while and you want to eat it. Or maybe you get together with a family member and you cook like one of your favorite desserts. I'm seeing like I'm seeing a young adult, probably like in their 20s, like they're early to mid 20s, maybe even late 20s, getting together with a grandmother or grandfather or like a mother, and them making a dessert together that they used to have a lot when they were a kid, and that could be really good. That can be incredible to do right now, especially with the North Node in Cancer. That's actually going to bring about some healing and some clearing, and it's sort of an energy that you do want to get yourself into because it's going to actually help. Like right now, finding the right people, like our soul family, is going to allow us to make it through these pressurized times. We're all being pressurized right now. There's so much pressure right now, and it's like you can feel it. It's like you can feel yourself becoming a diamond. You can feel yourself, or whatever you want to be, whatever. But you can feel yourself. You can feel yourself like being pressurized and almost sort of cooked. And it's like you gotta understand that that great pressure also creates heat. So there's a lot of heat right now, right? You know, we have Mars in Aries, we have Uranus in Aries, and Venus and Jupiter and Sag. We don't have any energies in Leo, but like there is a lot of heat right now. So it's like, so it can feel pretty intense. It can feel pretty exhausting emotionally. So yesterday when I went and exercised and I came back in, and I don't exercise as much as I should. Um, I have the advantage of working in a job where I'm on my feet constantly, so I don't really gain weight like that. It does kind of show, but I'm able to hide it very well. And honestly, it's been such a false sense of security. That's part of the reason why I don't want to be a server anymore, because it would actually force me to exercise more. Not that I can't do it now, but it will actually show up more if I don't exercise because I'm not constantly walking, since I'm not constantly on my feet moving. So like I said, I have the advantage of being on my feet all the time, you know. So this is, you know, the Moon of Taurus. This is, you know, you want to relax, you want to chill out, you want to, when you come home, you want to kick your shoes off. There could definitely be an element. You probably have felt it, you know, yesterday and today, where you come home from work, you don't want to deal with any bullshit. You really don't want to deal with any bullshit. You just kind of want to chill, relax, you know, turn on the game or read your favorite book, have a nice glass of wine, eat a nice meal with your beautiful husband or wife, or by yourself, or maybe hang out with some friends. You know, that's kind of that energy and that vibe. The moon will be coming in Gemini tomorrow, and we'll stay there for a few days, and then the moon will come into Cancer for the dark moon phase. I'm thinking about making dark moon phase videos too, because I really like the one I made for Sag. So it'd be kind of cool to make a video for the dark moon phase, which essentially is like when the moon goes into the sign before the sign where it'll have the moon. I guess it won't be a dark moon phase. It'd be like, it's not a dark moon phase. It'd be like a nearly full. I don't know what that would be called. I know there's an actual technical term for it, so I'd have to look it up. You learn something new every day, right? So I'll probably look that up after this video. We are climbing in our own way. And earlier today, I made a post, and I kind of thought about it. I was like, do I really want to make this post on Facebook? Because I feel like it almost felt a little bragatory, but at the same time, I think it was more so just honestly, I don't really care if it was bragatory, but it was really more so, you know, I was at the bakery, you know, and they have like this cool thing where they have like seating like up top and below and stuff. So I went up there, got my setup going, and actually when I was done, I took a picture of it, and I was just saying like, you know, every single step today, every single step towards your dreams and manifesting them is really important, no matter how big or small. They're all important. They're all valuable. And it's like I took a picture of my workspace and put it on Facebook, and a part of me kind of felt like, why am I showing this off? You know, what's the purpose of this? Am I trying to get likes? Am I trying to get attention? And I guess a part of me is, but I also did it because I feel like there are a lot of people out there that are either afraid to start, or if you're like me, you have started so many times before and failed. I can't tell you how many novels I've started or how many writing projects I've started and I've failed, you know? But I have proven to myself that I can finish a writing project. That's the poetry book I published last year. In January, actually, Therapeutic Poetry. If you want a copy of Therapeutic Poetry, the link is in my description below. Shameless plug. Um, and my goal is to have 2 more poetry books published this year, as well as at least finishing book 1 and probably finish at least writing book 1 of my novella series, which are going to be shorter novels essentially. Because eventually, I see myself at some point in my later years having just like a bookcase of all these short novellas that I've written, and they're all just going to be like little chunks of this big story, this big world that I'm trying to create. And what's interesting for me is that I've been feeling a lot of these characters because in many ways they're aspects of me, right? And I've been feeling all these characters and these stories like bubbling up, and it's like they're kind of like almost like banging on me. So like, yo, are you gonna write this story? Are you gonna write this story? It almost feels like they're trying to escape me. And in many ways, it kind of feels like, especially when the sun goes into Aquarius, there's going to be this escapist energy that's going to come out. Um, and even with Uranus being here at the edge of Aries, by the time that the moon comes back around, I do believe that the moon will conjunct Uranus as Uranus is coming into Taurus, which is huge. The next time that the moon comes around, I also believe that the next time the moon comes around, it will conjunct Mercury right before Mercury goes retrograde at the end of Pisces. We'll, of course, get to that on a later date. That's going to be huge. Because those are the energies where Chiron is. And Chiron will actually be pretty close to Mercury too. But there's going to be this interesting energy where we're actually going to escape into reality. Because right now it's in Aries, so we're like escaping through impulsive actions. But since it's at the height of Aries energy, it's like these really destined actions that we're supposed to take, but they're like impulsive and shit. But when Uranus comes into Taurus, and then begins to trine all of this Capricorn energy. Oh, buddy, it's gonna be like we're gonna want to try and escape, but it's like we're gonna just come back into reality. I'm almost seeing someone who was trying to go through the wall of platform 9 3/4, and instead of going into the train station, it like reroutes them back. It like reroutes them back to the real world, and that's how it's gonna feel like. So we're gonna want to escape, and it's gonna continually reroute us back to the real world, and we're gonna be like, "Fuck, man, I'm trying to escape and stuff." But what's going to help us to really get to that dream world is by actually, trusting and having faith in the universe and actually, utilizing the sextile between Neptune and Saturn, which we're not going to get this again. We're not going to get this again, guys, because by the time that Saturn reaches Capricorn again, Neptune will not be in Pisces, and Neptune it's an outer planet. It's like it takes more than 100 years for it to go around the zodiac. So we're not going to get this again. So to have Neptune in its home place and Saturn in its home place, making a sextile, which is creation energy in many ways, this is about actually physically manifesting our dreams into this reality. And we have such a great opportunity right now to do just that. But there are so many fears surrounding it right now. And there's so much projection and so many filters right now based off of these ideologies that we have kept for such a long time. There are so many filters on it because we're being told that, oh, boys do this and girls do that. Or, oh, especially the racial filters are really annoying. The racial filters are really annoying just because, like, yeah. You can just tell by my reaction. This episode was brought to you by Saki. This is Fuki. This has been one of my challenges. One of my challenges for sure, and I have pretty much beat one of my challenges and still have to go a little bit ways, but it was these dab cards that I was doing, and I did them mainly because they were inconspicuous. But those dab cards just whipped me out. I just can't do them anymore. I think the last time I did them was probably about 2 weeks ago, and I just don't. I think I had enough anxiety and panics on them to just get to the point. I was like, I just no, I can't do that anymore. But the issue is that I noticed whenever I wouldn't smoke as much, I would drink. And this is one of my challenges, and I'm willing to admit it. And especially when we get to this eclipse, that's going to be really a time for me to really let go of it, because full moons are about letting go and releasing. So in many ways, this kind of feels like a bit of a last hurrah for me. I'm not going to just not drink. I'm just going to drink significantly less. And I'm not even the person that really drinks every day. I'm really not. I'm not really the person that really gets drunk every day. It's like I even told my fiance earlier, I'm like, dude, I'm a terrible drinker, because it's like I don't really get drunk like that. I haven't been belligerently drunk, and I can't even remember how long. But it's like a lot of times when I drink, I am by myself, and it's like I don't even like do it to the point where it's like sometimes I don't even get tipsy, But even then, I might do that for like 3 or 4 days in a row, and that's something I don't really want to do, because I know it doesn't resonate with my highest self. It doesn't resonate with the value that I am not trying to obtain, but to just really come into, because it's already me. So I'm already showing the desire to not do it as much. So that means that aspect of me already exists, and it's about matching that vibration. So it's like you feel like say like my hands vibrating, right, and like this is me and my hands vibrating, right, and it's like it's about matching that vibration, right. So and then it's like you have the whole spectrum in between. So that's one of my challenges. Of course, the other challenge is, of course, like now it's like, all right, well, what then will I replace it with? So running is one, because I don't know if you know about runner's high, but it definitely exists. And it's not a part of it's you gotta understand. I'm a Pisces moon in the 4th house, like a 28 degrees Pisces moon in the 4th house. So in many ways, I actually get comfort through this. It actually gives me some sense of comfort. Sometimes when I'm having an anxious day or my mind is running wild, actually having a glass of sake calms me down. But I don't want to rely on it, I want to be able to do other things like dance. I've noticed is one of my go-to methods. Like I can come home. There have been times where I will just come home from work and I just start. The first thing I do pretty much is dance, and I'll dance for like 15 to 20 minutes. And it's actually a great form of exercise. By the end of it, I'm sweating, my heart's going, and I feel like this natural high. That's honestly greater than any high I've gotten with drugs. You know what I mean? It really is. So like dance is a huge one for me. I don't know what you guys do. But that is a huge one for me. I really do believe in my soul is a dancer. Like I feel like that's how I create worlds. It's like I'll go to a sphere or a place that seems dark, and I'll just start dancing, and it's through my dancing that I create the mountains and the lakes and the valleys and the rivers and the whatever. Like I think it's the dance. I don't think it's like I'm sitting here like creating mountains and creating trees. I think I'm just dancing, and things just like pop up, and that's how I feel. That's really how I feel. But yeah, let's hop into the charts. Let's hop into the charts. All right, so This is for the current moment, January 15, 2019, 8:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, as you can see, we have the moon right here in Taurus, making a sexy trine over to Mercury in Capricorn, 1616. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 is the energy of Neptune, so a very spiritual time. So we can definitely be feeling more connected to spirit right now, in a very grounded kind of way, too. In a very grounded kind of way. As you can see, we have this nice little stellium here in Capricorn. The sun is getting ever so closely to its opposition with the north node and its conjunction with the south node. But look at this right here. We also have Jupiter coming off the square. I mean, it's still a 14 and 14, but it's the 50th solar minute and the 27th solar minute. So it's not exact, but yeah, we have this right here, 14 and 14. Not only that, but look at this. The sextile between Saturn and Neptune is getting closer. 13 and 14, it's getting ever so closer. It's getting ever so closer. And when exactly are we going to get that energy? I want to say it's going to happen exact next week. Yeah, it's actually going to be here. It'll be at 14 degrees, but it'll be at the end of the month. But let's go back to present moment. So you can see Mars is here. It just is now leaving the first decan of Aries. So as far as a lot of the actions that we have taken and the way that we are acting upon and initiating things, this first decan is usually has to do with the self. So now we're about to start to take more actions as it involves other people, and particularly the people that are closest to us in our direct proximity. The moon will be coming into Gemini later this week as well. So that's even going to rev up this energy more. And then, of course, the moon's going to make a sextile over to Mars. As you can see, the moon did sextile Neptune as well. So even more so, this is about taking our dreams and starting to really ground them and to really begin to materialize them. So your dreams deserve you too. That's something I want you to just almost like a repeat that as a mantra. Your dreams deserve you too. Like you deserve your dreams. You deserve to achieve your dreams. But your dreams deserve you as well. It's a reflection. It's a relationship. It's not just you having dreams. Your dreams have you, right? Because only you can manifest those dreams. So your dreams have you as well. That might even give you more of an opportunity to manifest them quicker, to rapidly advance it. Now, we're going to get this sexy opposition right here on January 16th. It's going to be towards the tail end of the evening going into the 17th. The sun will be at 26 degrees opposing the north node and of course conjunct, and we can see that we have this nice T-square forming because they're both going to be squaring Uranus, and this is huge. We also have this semi-sextile going on between Uranus and Chiron, which has pretty much been going on for a while, and it's an aspect that not too many people have talked about because the semi-sextile, which is a 30-degree angle, it's sort of like a minor positive aspect that people don't really talk about. But this is like, I want you to think of the semi-sextile as sort of like two individuals kind of courting each other and agreeing that they're about to have sex. And then when you get to the sextile energy, that's when they actually have sex. You can see that Mars is actually pretty much in between these two. I'm not sure if it'll get exactly in between them, but as you can see, we also have this trine beginning to form as the sun's on top of the south node and opposing the north node. So there's going to be a tendency, and you're going to be aware of it, but there's going to be this tendency to kind of rely on a bit of the south node and kind of go back to old traditions, go back to old control structures. But Pluto will be at 21 degrees of Capricorn, which it just reached 21 degrees of Capricorn this week. So it's been at 20 degrees for a while, and it just reached 21 degrees. This is huge because Pluto hasn't been at this degree in I don't know how long. I have to do the math, but it's been a long ass fucking time, you know. And this is even going to bring about this Jupiterian element because 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 energy is represented by Jupiter and Sagittarius energy. We even have Saturn that includes a 3. The moon will reach 3 degrees very soon. It's at 2 degrees right here, but it will reach 3 degrees. And, we have obviously these energies in Jupiter. So even though this may bring about a bit of desperation and wanting to hold on to things, maybe us not necessarily seeing how certain individuals in our life, in our home life or our sanctuary, how it can reflect this deeper passion that we have for things and really evolving our character to really this is going to in many ways destabilize a lot of aspects because Uranus is a stabilizing energy as much as it is as a destabilizing energy. So there's going to be a bit of this destabilizing energy that's going on this week with this T square. And it can freak a lot of people out, especially with the moon in Gemini. Emotionally, our emotions are going to trigger our thoughts more this week when the moon comes into Gemini. But the good thing is, and you can see the moon's going to oppose the Sagittarius energy, and it's going to make some hard aspects because the moon is going to what? It's going to King Kunks all this Capricorn energy. But the good thing is that it's going to sextile the Mars energy. So even though there's going to be a bit of this destabilizing energy, by the time that the moon reaches these later degrees of Cancer, which I'll show you in a moment, we're actually going to feel a little bit better about things. But definitely Wednesday, Thursday, going into Friday, you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with people that reflect the value that not only you have for yourself, but the value that you want to bring into this world. That's going to be very, very important. The moon will semi-sextile the north node too. So even though it will king kunks the south node, which is a difficult aspect, it will semi-sextile the north node, which is a more harmonious aspect. So it's going to be like this energy that we're kind of feeling with this semi-sextile here, this 28 degrees of Chiron and 28 degrees Uranus. When the moon reaches this spot over here, it's going to be kind of like, both partners deciding to, have compassion for each other's needs. And this can be romantic, this can be with friends, this could be family, this can be the relationship that you have with money, the relationship that you have with your job. This can be all of those things. So, this is going to be sort of like, am I really going to jump into this commitment? Am I really going to jump into this right now? And you got to remember, of course, before this, the moon will conjunct Juno. So it's like we are definitely going to be making a decision on who and what we are committing to. And as I move this throughout, just move it forward. I want to move it. I want to see when if Mars will reach more of the midpoint between these two, which what I guess would be about 14, 15 degrees. Probably more like 14 and 15. Actually, probably more like anywhere between 12 and 14 degrees. You see the moon's going to oppose Venus and Jupiter. The sun's going to be coming off of the conjunction to the south node. And you can see the semi-sextile is almost exact, 39 solar minute and 37 solar minute. And this sextile is strengthening. So there's still time. That's the great thing, is that there's still time to realize that and actualize that our dreams want us too. They want us too, because where's the sun? The sun in many ways represents our awareness. It represents kind of where we are right now. It represents in many ways our personality. And it's at the heightened spot in Capricorn energy. So, and it's getting close to the area where Mars retrograded. So we're even going to come more into the knowledge of what even that was all about. More into the awareness, start acting out really what all that was about. And you continue to move this forward, and you can see the moon had, by this time, squared squared Neptune. And bam, now it's quincunxed over to Mercury. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be Friday. So Friday is going to be an interesting day because we're going to wake up into this energy, at least here on the East Coast of America. You're going to wake up into this energy of, you know, the moon being in Gemini and it making a quincunx over to Mercury, which would rather be in Gemini. The moon would not rather be in Capricorn, but the Mercury would definitely rather be here in Gemini. So there's a bit of this understanding between the moon and Gemini, but both are kind of a bit flustered, right? The moon just quincunxed Saturn. It just opposed Jupiter and Venus, which means that there are going to be certain individuals in your life that aren't open to the adventure that you want to go on, that aren't open to the fortune that you foresee. Sagittarius is very much so a foreseeing kind of energy. So people might not necessarily be open to that. So by the time that, the day before, that's going to be Thursday. So you're going to wake up on the 18th. Those of you, especially here in America, be like, damn, so now what? But this is going to also be the day where the moon is going to semi-sextile Uranus and semi-sextile the North Node. So there's still hope, but it's also going to quincunx the sun. So there's going to be some challenge as far as do you really feel into that mirroring life, that mirroring feeling that you are wanting to come into in many ways. If we move this forward, you see, I really want to look at Mars, because right there, Mars is about 16 degrees away from Uranus and about 14 degrees away from Chiron. So when it hits about 13 degrees, which is ironic, look where Saturn is, 13 degrees. So Saturn is actually squaring the midpoint of Chiron and Uranus. We're getting deep here, guys. This is some deeper astrology. And Mars is about to conjunct this spot. So this is definitely a lesson as it comes to whether we are really going to open up to this revolution of our character and open up to this greater healing of our spirit, that it's already been healed, but we're just maybe too afraid to move into it. And look at this right here. The moon is now at 28 degrees, making a square over to Chiron, putting even more pressure on this. But the sextile to Uranus is here too. So this is going to be like, some people may not necessarily understand your spiritual journey, but there are going to be those unique individuals that will understand your journey. They will understand it. And even though Uranus is now really actually squaring the sun, we can even, let's see, it's squaring the sun right here, right? That's when it's exact. Square between Uranus and the sun. The moon is going to be sextiling Uranus, and it's going to be squaring Chiron as well. So Friday is going to be a very interesting day. But at the same time, we have this semi-sextile going on right here. So it's about really feeling deeper, feeling more into this this North Node in Cancer, which is about, having the time and finding the time to create that sanctuary for ourselves. I really want to get to, I'm not sure when exactly Mars is going to square Saturn. It looks like it's going to be pretty much right after the eclipse. But as you can see, now the moon is in Cancer. Now it's going to start to oppose all that energy, right? It's going to start to oppose all that energy in Capricorn. But Mars is getting ever so close to the midpoint of Chiron in Uranus, which is going to be a really big activation point. A huge activation point. Now you can see the moon is making an opposition over to Saturn. Look at the sun here at 29 degrees of Capricorn, getting ready to shift into Aquarius. Mercury now has surpassed Pluto. So even our mind is kind of getting on board with the transformation, but it's still behind the sun. It's still behind the sun. And we haven't even talked about this, but now that Venus and Jupiter are coming closer together, Look who's making a semi-sextile over to it, Saturn. So even though these decisions that we're making are difficult, it's going to lead to the greatest adventure of your life. The greatest, most divine, sacred adventure of your life that God, Goddess, Spirit, Source Perspective is wanting you to go on. And even though there are some difficult aspects, the moon's going to be squaring Mars. It's going to, it's going to trine Neptune here too. But then we have, of course, this squaring energy still. This T-square is still prevalent. The Saturn is like, if you go in this direction, going to open up to the greatest life possible. And here's the thing, even though there's a lot of trolling energy right now, in many ways, here's some trolling energy with this square and these quincunxes, there's still a way out of it. I was speaking to my aunt earlier, and she told me that no matter how far you come off the path, I think it was my aunt, or was my, I was actually, yeah, no, it was my aunt. It's like, no matter how far you come off the path, there is a way to get back on the path. And I thought that was, that was great. And I definitely do believe that. So no matter how far you come up, there's always a way to get back on. It's going to sound bad. I can't remember if it was my aunt or if it was my mom. I talked to both of them today. And both were very good conversations. But I felt like there was almost an element of both of those and of that feeling in both of those conversations. I kind of feel bad for not remembering who exactly it was with that said that. But now we can see that Venus is now trining the midpoint of Chiron and Uranus. So bringing this more to a front of, trusting this revolutionizing of our character and trusting in this healing of our spiritual story and trusting that we can take the right actions to really manifest this. Even though there's this square right now, the moon is in its space that it likes to be, and Mars is in the space that it likes to be, right? I can't say who's necessarily going to win this battle. I would say, if anyone, the moon is going to win out, only because Mars is going to be squaring this Capricorn energy. So it's going to be like, this is about having the moon making this square over to Mars is like, this is us actually emotionally growing up and having the courage to trust our emotions and to move into better feeling moments. Whereas Mars right here in Aries may want to is a little bit hyperactive, especially now it's getting closer to Uranus. It's a little bit more hyperactive. So Saturn's having to temper Mars right now. So the moon probably is going to win this battle here. So if you are disconnected from your emotions this week, Saturday going into Sunday, you're not going to have a good time. I'm sorry to say, you're not going to have a good time because, there's this whole journey that Source is wanting us to open up to. But if you're not connected to yourself emotionally, and you don't want to get washed up in the current, but if you're not connected to your emotions and you're not processing them in a healthy way, you're not going to have a good time because you're going to almost try and find some sort of wacky, crazy, way out there solution to fixing your problems. And it could work, but it probably will give you more distractions than it will good. Damn, I just channeled the fuck out of that. And we move this forward, you can see that, bam, now it's at, oh wow, you can even see the semi-sextile between Chiron and Uranus is exact. Pretty much the moment that Mars hits 13 degrees of Aries. You can't make this shit up, guys. You really can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. And well, let me actually go back to that. Let me go back to that. I thought I saw something else, but pretty much there are 41, 41. So you can see Mars is catching up to the midpoint. So it's funny, these reach their exact semi-sextile before Mars even reaches 13 degrees, but it pretty much happens at the same time. So bam, there's at 13 degrees, right? And yeah, This is a huge moment. This is a huge moment. Sunday right here. Sunday, the sun is about to get into Aquarius too, is just right there. And this semi-sextile between Mars and Neptune is almost there too, which I'm going to assume is going to happen pretty much as the full moon lunar eclipse occurs. It's going to be damn close to it, that's for sure. In fact, let's just go ahead and click on it. It's really fucking close. It's really fucking close. This is the full moon lunar eclipse, which is going to occur at 12:12 a.m. Not 12:12. You can't make that up. January 21st. So that's 1 2 1 1 2 1 2. That's kind of interesting. Look at that. Oh, look, we have another 21 right here. Right. So definitely a very divine moment. We'll talk more about this on that particular date. But I really wanted to just focus on, I just really wanted to just kind of nail home that there is a world, there is an adventure, there is a whole new divine sacred journey that the universe really wants you to step into. And it can be scary to step into because we do have a lot of anecdotal evidence of times where we try to step into what we thought was a divine path and it blew up in our motherfucking face. But you know what? We didn't have Jupiter in its home. We didn't have Saturn in its home. We didn't have Neptune in its home. We didn't have Mars in its home. We didn't have these energies. So this is a very rare moment to where if you trust, some of you are wanting to trust, and it's almost like this is the last straw. And it's almost like you want a guarantee of success. And I'm going to be one to tell you, you will actually succeed this time. It may not happen in the way that you want it to. It may not happen on the timeline that you want it to. But this time you will succeed. Period. 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 I think I'm gonna end it right there, honestly, because I'm hungry. Y'all like my this is my little mouse pad. It's a pug. I want a pug so much. I want to manifest my pug very, very soon. I want a pug. Pugs are so adorable. It's a little alien bug dog. This is my Gemini coming through. I don't have any Gemini energy, but I want a little alien bug dog. But we are really being given an incredible opportunity to step into this new chapter of our life. It's really a whole new book, honestly. It's like, and like, yeah, the sequel to the previous book, but it's almost like what it feels like, honestly. It's like, take like the Harry Potter series and like, it's like going from like that to like, actually, it's kind of like really, yeah, it's like going like that to like the next part of the whole overarching story. Like it's still within the same world, kind of, but it's this whole other world. It's like it's kind of going like from Naruto to Boruto. That's what's happening right now. So we're like finishing up the story of Naruto, and we're about to go to Boruto. That's what's happening right now, and it's like it is a whole new story. It is a whole new chapter. It is a whole new book in many ways. And that can be scary because you're wondering like who, and you're going to, everybody that's in your life right now, they're going to come back around. They may come back around in different ways and be different characters and stuff like that. And you may want to try and hold on to like your conception or perception of who they are in this story because you have no idea how they're going to show up in the next chapter, right? But there's really such a great portal to step into. And really, you don't want to miss this train. I don't think anyone's really going to miss it. I think that there are going to be a lot of people that end up in the caboose of the train. And it's going to be like, the caboose is going to be very full and packed with people. So, and, we all have our challenges and our journeys, stuff like that. And this is a time also to where it's like, even though even though I kind of feel like this is a bit of a week of like a last hurrah, like I feel like this year we've had multiple beginnings of the new year. Like we actually had the new year, then we had the eclipse, and now we're getting another eclipse, which is kind of like another new beginning of the year. And then I definitely feel like when the sun comes into Aries, that'll be the esoteric new year. So it's like there are going to be many opportunities over the next couple months to kind of start off fresh. But just this is going to be really one of those moments this week where you really wanted to set the intention and really just decide that you're going to step into the new path. And you don't need to know how to do everything right away. You're going to start getting superpowers, and you don't need to know how to control your powers completely right now. You have to just trust and have faith. Right now, I'm writing a story about someone who's actually discovering their powers. So it's like you don't need to know necessarily how to do everything right now. You don't need this. Like it's almost like there are people who have like like how you like get like a video game and you can get like the manual for the game, and it's like there are people that like are looking through the manual and they're looking at things that you do when you reach level 70, and they want those things and they're trying to learn them when they're at level 5, and you can't really do that. It's kind of like the whole thing where I said it's like you just started your Pokemon journey and you're trying to go face the Elite Four with the level 5 Pikachu. Like you can't do that. If you're Ash, you can, but you can't really do that, right? So, and some of you actually do have Pokemon who are like level 100 and beyond, by the way. Some of you actually do have them, but it's like you're having to kind of like relearn all of the training that it took for you to get to that point. Like, especially those of you who have your sun in Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. These individuals who have their suns in these signs, they take longer to come into that energy because they have a lot to remember. They have a lot of energy and information to download. So it's like if you have your sun in these energies, especially Aquarius and Pisces, a lot of times these people don't really mature and come into the strength of their sign until their 40s and 50s. So, and you got to think, considering how the world is right now, and we have always had people who have lived to their hundreds and beyond. We always have. But the vast majority of people the life expectancy has risen. So you got to think the reason why we don't understand these later zodiac signs is because the individuals that were born into those energies, a great majority of them never reached the maturation that was needed for them to accurately express that energy into this world so it can actually begin to manifest. But as time moves forward and as life expectancy overall increases, which is a beautiful thing, whether you believe in Western medicine or not like that, it does have its advantages and stuff like that. Now people are able to live longer overall. And I believe if we combine aspects of that with holistic medicine, we can definitely get to the point where people are in their 200s, definitely for sure, without the need to put robots inside of us. But that's coming anyways. But these energies, like I said, it's like we haven't had enough people that have matured to a certain point to where they could accurately express those zodiac energies. We haven't had it. This is why the world right now is so steeped in religion and why that's going through such a transformation, because Sagittarius, it's there, but it's like it's the 9th sign. But there's more of an opportunity for people to come into the maturation of that energy. So that's why you see obviously the light side of Sagittarius and the dark side of Sagittarius. And of course, and then Capricorn's there too. But as far as Aquarius energy and Pisces energy, I mean, we have the internet now, which is a result of this energy. Whether someone had their sun in Aquarius or an ascendant or moon or whatever like that, or just even just the dreams of people who subconsciously wanted the internet and manifested it, and even though they might have had nothing to do with technology. There could be people out there that were suns and Aquariuses that had nothing to do with the creation of the internet that actually contributed to it subconsciously and through their dreams, and Pisces as well. But as time passes, we're going to see more and more of this Pluto in Capricorn is definitely revealing this, and it's Pluto reaches Aquarius, man. It's gonna be an eruption. It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be crazy. That is it for this weekly horoscope. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And just trust and know that you are being guided in the right direction. Even if it feels like you could be going off path and you can be going off and getting distracted. And we all get distracted. There are a lot of side quests to this main quest. There are a lot of side quests to this main quest. Best believe there are. But you know, a lot of times it's what we find those side quests that do help us on the main quest. So like there are certain abilities and certain weapons, certain things that we gain, certain people that we meet on the side quest that can come into your main quest. So that's another thing. It's like there are a lot of people that you could have met during your side quests that actually will become major supporting characters in your main quest. That can definitely happen. It's definitely happened to me. So, yeah. Enjoy this week, enjoy this time, set the intention to remember your true worth, no matter how far off the path you may feel like you go or you stray. And also know that there are always going to be people there that can help to pull you out of the darkness. And you have to decide to pull yourself out of the darkness, but there will be people there that pull you out as well. There'll be people there that'll pull you out as well, that really do care for you, that really do value, that really do understand the truth of the gift that you are and that you're wanting to bring into this world, you know. And those are the people that you want to connect to right now. So I love you also, fam. Y'all take care. Have a blissful evening. And I will be making, I guess, the Moon and Gemini video probably tomorrow. And then I'm thinking on Friday morning, I'm going to go live probably for I think I'm going to probably just do like a tarot, like an oracle / tarot card pull. Just go live and just pull cards for anybody who wants it. I might do that for like an hour or so like that. I'll probably pull for all 12 signs, and then anybody who wants a card, I'll probably pull. That'll probably be like Friday or something like that. But anyways, see you for the third time. I love you all, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love. Y'all have a blissful evening, day, no matter where you are in the world, what time you are viewing this. I really do appreciate it. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo!